from the Hollywood Improv, it's the Nighttime Show. I'm Mike Black, the voice of the Nighttime Show. With us, as always, is head writer Matt Walker. Today, our special guest, star of Rookie of the Year, American Pie, The Rules of Attraction, and the new film Adverse, Thomas Ian Nicholas. And now, our host with the very most, and by most I mean Doritos, fudge, and cream cheese. Put your hands together at home for Mr. Stephen Kramer Glickman!
You son of a bitch. Hey, Thomas, thanks so much for being here. We're very excited. I got insulted a bunch just on your behalf, just for you.
Hey, listen, at least you have an actual last name and not 3 first names.
Our 3 special guests.
That's why I got to get rid of the Ian, and I'm in Adverse. I'm only credited as Thomas Nicholas because I figured it's the only possible way I could be taken as a serious adult actor is to not be coined as a 90s child star.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Well, I'm just glad it was Ian and not Ion, like the guy from 90210.
Fucking Ion Ziering.
I'm sorry, it's spelled.
That fucking asshole.
You spell it Ian. Yeah, but I'm Ion, though.
He hit my car one time. He hit my fucking car on Sunset Boulevard.
You called him Ian.
I called him Ian, and he hit me. He fucking hit me with his car. Son of a bitch.
That's all right. I saw his ex in was Scantily Clad.
What?
Which one?
Well, she was one of the strippers in American Wedding.
Oh my God!
Did you not? You're going to go down the Ion path. You got to go.
Yeah, you're going to go down the rabbit hole. You kind of got to go down the.
Are you on
hole.
like the Ian Ion newsletter that comes out, lets you know all the updates of Ians and Ions?
Who isn't?
So you and I share a publicist, which is a very cool thing, and they're very, very nice. Icon PR, very cool people. How long
That's
have
either
you,
impressive for you, Stephen, or kind of sad for Ian.
Oh, hey,
I can't tell which.
Come on now. No.
Oh, I love it. Now you're going to call me by the name that I'm getting rid of. I appreciate it.
No. Yes, of course. What
we know your name.
Come on.
That was a slight at both of you. That's what I did.
Thomas.
Yeah, it was good. I felt it, but I can fire back. I can hold my own.
You bet. Have you had weird? Have you always had good publicists, or you ever had any weird ones?
Oh, I've had weird ones.
What's your weirdest publicist experience that you've had?
Oh my gosh, this is actually a great story. So first of all, my bout with publicity is an odd journey. So after I did Rookie of the Year, I obviously didn't hire a publicist when I was 12.
Yeah.
And so but I did a lot of press, like all the studio, like Fox put us on like this press tour, and I was the main kid. So, and it was really like confusing to navigate all that.
So was that like a junket, or was it like a whole thing where you had to go do interviews?
Oh, it was everything. It was a junket. I remember actually there was a weird thing. You guys ever seen the movie The Killer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the junket in New York, this one like press guy was like, "Here, I want you to check out this movie," and he gave me a copy of The Killer on VHS. I don't know.
And you were 12.
Like, this is a great film.
He was just carrying it around with him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird because it's definitely not for like 12-year-olds.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No.
God, what?
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I should be really upset. And, this is what makes me a good set dad for my son, who's now following my footsteps.
Yeah.
No VHS tapes will be handed to him from the press.
No way. Is your son acting now too?
Yeah, he's in Adverse. He has a small part, and he's also in the new M. Night movie Old that premiered their trailer during the Super Bowl.
What? Oh my God, that's amazing. That's so fucking cool. That's a hell of a dude. This movie Adverse is so fucking cool. I mean, Mickey Rourke is in this. Penelope Ann Miller, Sean Astin, Lou Diamond Phillips, Andrew Keegan, Sam Levine. I mean, this cast, dude.
Cast.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Like, what an amazing piece of work. And you're right in there with everybody. You're just crushing it. How did this come to be?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did this film with my business partner, Brian A. Metcalf, and then we have a new partner, Kelly Arjun. So the three of us produced the film together. And Brian is the writer-director, and we've worked together on a few other projects. So when he showed me the script for this one, I opined to play Ethan. And he was open to it, but he was unsure that I was going to be able to achieve what he envisioned for the character. So we kind of did some work sessions and, worked on the character development to really get Ethan to not look like me, not sound like me, not move like me, until the point where he was satisfied that I could do this. He didn't know that drama was my forte and that I only got roped into comedy around Rookie of the Year. And then obviously I did like weeks of rehearsals with Kelly Arjun, who plays Mia, because that's the cornerstone of the film, is the relationship between brother and sister. So yeah, it was an intense pre-production rehearsal phase. And then we got so fortunate. I mean, the script was just fantastic. So, it was pretty easy to get great talent on board once they just read the script. It was just a matter of getting to them.
Wow, that is so cool, man. That is what an awesome thing. And Brian wrote it, right, as well?
Yeah, and we just got word, which is a small feat but a big one to us. We're doing a platform theatrical release, so we're in select theaters, and we got word that 2/3 of the theaters ordered it for a second week.
Wow! In 2021, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, and I mean, I don't want to sell myself down the river, but we've done platform releases before, and this is, to be honest, of my failures, this is the first time that we've had any theaters order a second week, so we're pretty stoked.
Well, dude,
awesome. That's
that
great.
Is amazing, man. Congratulations. That is not an easy feat. It really is not.
Well, especially right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
thank you.
That's a huge deal. And and failure is such a, it's a tricky word, but you've made a lot of incredible stuff, and you've produced a lot of great stuff. You're in the PGA. I mean, you're doing fucking awesome stuff, man. It's amazing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, but failures are good because as I learned from portraying Walt Disney and Walt Before Mickey, it's the difference between success and failure is that the successful people have failed more times than the unsuccessful people have tried.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No,
and that's really it. I've always just said, here I am 34 years later, still chasing the dragon.
So let's
and
jump.
I do mean that quite literally. 'Cause it's my drug.
So let's jump back 34 years then.
The worst radio interview ever. I did an interview with Rick Dees. I did an interview with Rick Dees in 1994, and there was this. I said this joke, and there was this big laughter. And then Rick Dees, while everyone was laughing, says, "Do you do drugs, Thomas?"
Oh no!
And I didn't hear him.
Uh-huh.
So then there was this dead air silence, and just to squell the dead air while they're live on radio, I changed the subject.
Uh-huh. Oh shit!
Yeah.
So in effect, I basically admitted to doing, inadvertently admitted to doing drugs while talking to Rick Dees. What the hell is he doing asking a 14 or 15-year-old if he does drugs? Of course they do.
No.
I always just assume every question he asks is just a setup for him to work in D's nuts. Do you do drugs? No. Well, do you do D's nuts?
Damn you, Rick Dees.
I would just say I do so many drugs that I still think Disco Duck is a good song.
See?
Wow. But here's the thing. I didn't
cut.
even know the question got asked until I heard about it later. I never even heard the question.
Oh no.
So
for
you can
weeks
come up
you're
with a
walking
lot
around.
of things that you can say and retort to it.
Sure.
But not if you don't hear it because everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
Right. God. Oh, what a mess. What a fucking... Yeah, that's a mess, dude. That is so tricky.
It was a disaster. I was mortified for at least 10 or 15 minutes after I
that's so great. How did you get started in this entertainment business? How did it begin for you? What was the first thing?
The first thing was back as a background performer, as an extra. My mom was casting for Atmosphere in what you would call low budget independent films now, but they were just straight to video B films back then.
Oh, so did she do a lot of casting stuff?
She cast like a few things. She was working for a company that was just doing a slew of these lower budget flicks. Yeah. And it wasn't like she got me involved or I wanted to be. It was basically I got her out of a jam. So unbeknownst to me, at like 10 o'clock on a Sunday night, they the office called and they're like, oh, we need an altar boy for the shoot tomorrow, 6 a.m. call. So that's Sunday night. Like what's she going to do? So she pulled a rabbit out of her hat, AKA she woke me up early and said, you're ditching school today and you're coming to work with me.
Wow. Oh my God.
So I was an altar boy in a Jan Michael Vincent movie.
It's so great.
And but I loved being on set, and so and actually, ironically enough, it was a drug bust. The scene, where I think the scene, the action was we were lowering the casket in, and Jan Michael Vincent is a cop, and he shows up, and they take a shovel and they dig it into the corpse, and all this cocaine falls out.
Oh wow!
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Now, when you saw that, did you think Jan Michael Vincent is so cool? I'm gonna have 3 names one day.
And there's all 3 first names too. Yeah.
Oh
shit!
3 first names.
Yes,
yeah.
Very nice.
In fact, that was totally. That was.
Have you
thing.
seen him lately?
No.
I'm serious. Pictures
yes,
of
I
him
have.
recently.
Yeah, it's
He
not
looks like a cyborg pirate. It's real crazy. He has fallen apart.
Gotta love some Jan Michael Vincent.
He died 8 years ago and no one told him.
Oh, Jan Michael Vincent. I just looked up his headshot, his IMDb, and to see if I could figure out what movie this was that you did. Do you know the name of it?
Oh yes, I do.
Oh, come on.
We're gonna find out anyway.
Well,
how much Googling is it gonna take with those 2 names?
With Jan Michael Vincent? It seems.
Oh, but there was 2. I did 2 with him.
What?
Oh.
The first one was Memorial Day.
Oh hell yeah!
Which I think you can purchase on VHS for $90.
Yes, I'll take it.
or be given
Otherwise, you'll never find that film
from Jan Michael Vincent directly. He sends you the 1 VHS left that he has.
You wait for the right PR guy, and he'll just give it to you when you're at a junket.
That's fucking incredible.
And then the other one was Hit. Oh no, I'm sorry. Memorial Day was the second one. The first one was Hit List.
Hit List. Oh,
that's a good title.
I love it.
It's a good title.
I love it. That's fucking great.
Jan Michael Vincent.
If anyone adds
Hit
this
List
to my IMDb as a background performer, I will send people after you.
Yeah, do not. You will be on the hit list.
Well, I just had I did a thing where
some delete to my keyboard right now.
Matt Walker, our writer producer on the show, he told me that somebody someone had written a review of a movie that I was in that I got my name taken off back in the early 2000s, and I watched the review.
It was a YouTube.
It was a YouTube video, and it had 1 million views, and it was so fucking funny that I decided to come out and tell everyone that I had played a dog. I was the main dog in a movie where a woman falls in love with a dog, kisses the dog, and then the dog transforms into a man, and then she fucks that man. And that movie is called Love on a Leash, and it is the most horrifying thing I've ever done in my life. And now, if you look it up on IMDb,
now it's there.
You look it up, it has over 6,000 positive reviews, all saying that it is an incredible feat of movie making, and it's just hysterical. It's like a very stupid bad movie, but
Hit list isn't sounding so bad now, is it?
Hey, before we continue doing the show, we got to talk about the equipment that we're using to make the show, make an epic show that is. It sounds like everyone is right here, like we're all sitting together, but we're not.
We've got a fantastic multi-track recorder from Zoom. If you need multi-track recordings, that's the only company you should even be looking at. Basically, we had issues when we had to switch to doing things during a pandemic, and we went from doing a show with people in person to people over the phone, and Zoom just made it a piece of cake.
Yeah, you bet. ZoomCorp.com is the website, and this has made it so that we could interview people in Nigeria,
New Zealand,
Guatemala, Austria, the Czech Republic. When we were
Are
doing
you just
all
naming
those
countries now?
Yeah, well, no. When we were doing all the interviews with the cast of 90 Day Fiancé, we were talking to people, in the Ukraine. We were doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And then just the other day when we had John Rhys Davies on the show
from New Zealand,
he was in New Zealand the whole time.
Sounded like
he was sitting in the room with us. Yeah.
It truly is the mark of excellence for podcasting. Zoom LiveTrack L8 8-track mixer recorder, the board for creators, podcasting, music, and beyond.
Yeah, it is a badass system, and we're very lucky to be working with Zoom. Go check out ZoomCorp.com. That's ZoomCorp.com. Zoom, you have to say it 3 times. That's what people do in ads, right? Zoom,
what is it, Stephen?
ZoomCorp.com. It's ZoomCorp.com. We're talking about ZoomCorp.com. All right, let's get back to the show. But you did a lot. I mean, a lot of work in your early years. Like you were doing lots of different TV shows, one-offs on different shows. Of all the, I'm gonna list you 4 shows. You tell me one story. You pick one story about the shows. You don't have to tell me one for each. Just you pick one.
Any of the shows.
Who's the Boss?
Okay.
Baywatch, Married with Fucking Children, and Harry and the Hendersons. Of those shows, which one do you have something for?
I mean, just for the sake of who I'm being hosted by on this show, I might have to mention Married with Children because it was the 1-hour Christmas special with Sam Kinison.
Oh shit!
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
Did you meet him back then?
Yeah.
Whoa!
So I thought you guys would get a kick out of that one.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Please, tell us anything.
So did you ask him if he does drugs?
Oh my god!
Did I need to ask that question? I mean, I was only 8 or 9, I think, when I did that show. I think I don't even remember what year it was. It was a long time ago, long time ago.
1988 or 89.
So I was 8. So I was 8 or 9. I do have this great picture with Katie Seagal, who I'm 8 or 9, so I'm only 4 feet tall. She's wearing like a nightgown, and she just bent forward and put her arm around my shoulder. So there's this very nice picture of the two of us, all 4 of us.
Just you and tons of cleavage.
Wow.
Yes.
All 4 of us.
And Ed O'Neill was great. I was Bobby locked in the bathroom dungeon. From what I remember. Yeah. And I remember, I mean, it was a fun experience, being on set. I mean, like I said, I love being on set. Who's the Boss was a fun experience too, but we actually had to pre-tape that. We didn't tape it live in front of a live studio audience because Tony Danza had to get done up in 3.5 hours of latex makeup to play his own grandfather in the 100th episode of Who's the Boss, and I played a young Tony Danza.
Whoa, that's amazing.
So, and I guess those were both like special episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that I not only got to do an episode of like those 2 shows that we all grew up watching, but like a special one, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when you're going out for shows like this at that age, are you running into the same people in the audition rooms? Like, are you going up against like Joey Lawrence or something all the time?
Joey's a few years older than me, so it was Matthew that I would see a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Some member of that family.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone is in competition with the Lawrences if they're in entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was always like a group of people. Like even that's how I became friends with Sam Levine. Was we were audition friends.
Oh, cool.
We would just see each other at auditions, and to the point where like after years we were like, we should exchange numbers because we see each other all the time, and you know, like we can't just do it here at auditions.
I love that. I love it.
Now, did you get to meet Sam Kinison while you were doing the special?
Yeah.
What was
like I
that
said,
like?
we were all taping in front of a live studio audience, so you know, we were all there, and I'm sure somewhere in a photo book is a picture of me and Sam for sure.
Oh man, that's so cool.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
He was the ghost of Christmas past, I believe.
I remember.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember very well. Yeah.
So great. What you did with Sam Levine makes this industry a hell of a lot nicer, because when you're constantly going up against the same people, you can either fall into the trap of being like competitive with other actors, which never works out, or you can, you know, like become friends with people and know that, like, you know, when the time is right, things are gonna pop off, you know?
Yeah, my whole thing, you know, growing up and doing, you know, 100 to 250 auditions a year was I knew it was all about the long race. It's a long race. It's an extremely long race. It's all about the marathon. So when I didn't get a part, if I saw a friend at an audition, I would always say, well, I hope it went to someone that I know, because I want to see the people that I know, the people that I'm friends with do well, and not like to some rando. So like I remember that but it would work differently too, because I remember screen testing in like mix and match sessions with Elijah Wood for The Good Son, and from what I heard from my agent at the time it was like 3 of us had a pin in us for like the main Bad Seed, you know, because it was obviously a remake of The Bad Seed.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so then Macaulay Culkin got it, and we're like, wait a second, he wasn't even at the mix and match session.
Oh my god.
So I can't root for that guy. He's not one of my buddies.
Yeah.
Wow. That
but
movie,
it was weird
that fucking Good Son movie was like the first time I think I'd ever seen a movie where I thought, like, up to that point, I just thought everything would always get resolved at the end and everyone would end up like okay. And then when that kid falls and when Macaulay Culkin falls and dies at the end
Spoiler
of the movie,
alert, Steven.
Spoiler alert! I just remember being like, what the fuck is, as a kid, just being totally freaked out. That's why movies like Rookie of the Year were
Steven, is it because you were pretty sure your mom would have chosen
yeah, I was absolutely sure she would have chosen somebody else. But that's why I liked movies like Rookie of the Year, because it was like it was a happy movie and with like good, you know, it was like wish fulfillment.
Nobody's dropping kids off cliffs.
No one's dropping kids. Garey Busey's in it, and he's not throwing a kid off a cliff, you know?
If he's not doing
I know,
it,
it's
nobody
like
is.
You haven't seen Garey Busey that sane since he was like Buddy Holly.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That's actually funny, because the only reason why I even booked Rookie of the Year was because I didn't get The Good Son.
Whoa,
if I had booked
really?
The Good Son, I would have been unavailable.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
like the Rookie of the Year audition was like right after that. It was right around the same time frame.
So, are you like a legend in Chicago for bringing them their first world championship?
Yes, I am.
But I mean, like, do they? I mean, they must do an event there every year at the Cubs, right? Of rookie, they must have a Rookie of the Year. I think they do a Rookie of the Year day here at Dodger Stadium.
I'm not sure if they have a Rookie of the Year day, but I have been throwing out the ceremonial first pitch and singing the 7th inning stretch every year. Besides, well, actually, I even did it virtually in 2020.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Since 2008. So I've done it now for 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
like
that's
you're just
amazing.
like a part of the Cubs. I think.
Yeah, it's like your money is no good in Chicago. They just have to like, we'll pick up his check. Don't worry about it.
Totally. The only thing that's a bummer is I didn't Ricketts didn't send me a World Series ring, which I emailed him about more times than I should have.
I got to imagine that movie happens 1993. You got to be 12 years old or so at the time. What happens to your life after that movie comes out? What's the biggest changes?
So this will spin me back to the conversation that we derailed from in the beginning of our talk.
Yeah.
In regard to publicity.
Yes.
So this is essentially where and some more failures. So the film comes out and it's a sleeper hit. So it's not like a mad opening weekend slam dunk. It's like it just kind of stays the course and slowly just keeps growing until it's a sleeper hit. Mm-hmm. And I remember things changed a lot. There would be things like the best example I can think of is going to Dodger Stadium, playing in the All-Star game. Tony Danza's there, who I'd worked with 6 years previous. He throws me a nice easy pitch so I can hit a line drive. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's on first base. This crazy All-Star game.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, the Dodgers are playing after. You can have tickets to the game. My mom and I are like, cool. So we go sit in the stands. Mm-hmm. And before I know it, there's a crowd of 300 people in the aisleway. And security has to lead me out almost like it's the airport scene in the movie.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And
someone
and that's here in L.A. where we see celebrities all the time.
Oh, my God.
Right. But the film was just it was still synonymous, it was right around that same time period. So
wow. Oh God.
And so that was a weird sort of realization for me that I couldn't just be a normal kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I had a manager who, and this will probably blow your mind. So I signed with this manager named Michael Mann, who was in the original Rookie of the Year, because Rookie of the Year is actually a reboot.
Really?
Whoa.
So he was in Rookie's Bump, which was a kid gets a weird bump in his arm and then pitches for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Wow.
So he was one of the friends in that movie. So anyway, he signs me. It's me and Wes Studi are his big clients.
Uh-huh.
And then I book a Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, great, let's hire a publicist. And I was like, no publicists. I do not want to do publicity. I do not want to be famous. I just want to work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh.
And so he couldn't talk me out of it. And that's sort of my failure, because it's like the old adage of advertisement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that runs the business. You've heard this one, right? The guy that runs the business doesn't believe in advertising. So then eventually his business fails. So what does he do? He wants to sell it. So how does he sell it? He puts an ad out in the paper.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but that
And that's a huge step up, by the way, because the role you played before Henry Rowengartner was boy number one. That's the character that you played immediately before. So it's you had a huge jump from just being some random kid in things every now and then to being the star of a motion picture. It's a huge deal.
To playing Henry was a huge deal. That was a big jump.
What was I boy number one in?
When no one would listen. TV movie.
Oh, jeez. Well, fine. Television didn't like me.
Look, Matt Walker is still boy number one. Okay, let's just make that clear.
Well, in my mind, I don't remember all the guest spots on the TV stuff. In my mind, I did have a name in Radio Flyer.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which was Ferdy.
Yeah.
But I similar to my son in Adverse, my big moment got left on the cutting room floor. And then unfortunately, so did the moment where Nolan and my son and I in Adverse had this moment together that also ended up on the cutting room floor. And then after, of course, 100 million people saw his face in the trailer for Old, I called my business partners and I was like, we should have given my son a bigger part.
Right. Of course. Of course. Now, look, I know we have to touch on American Pie. We're a little limited for time today, but I mean, I gotta say, American Pie is like one of the fucking.
Oh yeah.
One of the.
It's like the most iconic comedies of the time.
Yeah. It changed everything, and then you did all the sequels, and you were. I mean, I don't know if you did. Did you do all of this? You didn't do all the sequels. You did the big sequels, like the American.
Yeah, I did the theatrical.
The theatrical sequels.
Ones.
Yeah.
The four.
The real sequels.
The real sequels. Thank you very much.
No spin-offs for me. They did offer a couple of times for some like cameos in the spin-offs, but I felt like it wasn't in line with Adam Herz and his storyline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially like there was one in Book of Love where they wanted me to do something, and I was like, I knew we were gonna do American Reunion. And I'm like, if you do that to my character's timeline, you're going to mess up like the real sequel. So no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to talk about that, but I got to talk to you about Rules of Attraction, man. That fucking movie was amazing, and Bret Easton Ellis is like one of my heroes. Like, so what was that like? What was that film like to work on?
That's one of my favorite films that I've worked on, and it's I think the 20-year anniversary.
Oh wow.
Something like that, or at least from when we filmed it. I know I remember we were shooting in 2001. We don't need to talk about why, but I remember specifically it was the fall of 2001.
Oh, sure.
And Roger Avery was, an amazing, just like nice human being, like so gracious, so grateful, and also so like adventurous with how the scenes would go. Usually like a writer director, he adapted the screenplay obviously from Bret Easton Ellis's book, but he was never married to his words on the page. And oftentimes he would tell you like, okay, at this point, I want you to just think about this and go wherever you want to go in that direction. I don't care what I've written on the page. I just want you to go for this.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
it was
so
a lot.
much,
It was
like as an
amazing
actor, that must be the most freedom that you can imagine.
Oh, it was my like dream job in the sense of, doing dramatic improv, which is, I think it's roles like that. I mean, I did a lot of that in training. So, I developed characters with mental illness, like alongside Joseph Gordon-Levitt. We were in the master class before we could even drive.
Whoa.
I think we're the only two that couldn't drive.
Amazing.
So then we would have we'd do this 12-week development of this character. And at the 12th session, Dr. Walschmidt would come in, who was a real life psychiatrist, and we would do a group therapy session with our mentally ill characters that we'd spent the whole semester creating. And so Rules of Attraction was doing that dramatic improv, obviously not with maybe Mitchell's mentally challenged. We don't know. And so and then later it prepared me for Adverse when working with Mickey Rourke, because he would go off book, and following him, I remember the first scene we did in Adverse, he didn't even introduce himself to me on set. We just fired right into the work.
Oh my
and
God.
I followed with him and stayed with him, and to the point where when Brian yelled cut, he kind of looked at me, like kind of raised his chin up, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Mickey." And I was like, I passed the Mickey Rourke test.
Holy crap.
You've survived Mickey Rourke and Garey Busey. Not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, seriously. Holy God. Hey, Matt, before we continue doing the show, we got to talk about what we're talking into.
These Sennheiser microphones are fantastic.
Yeah, they are literally top of the line. The best company in the world when it comes to microphones, headphones, audio equipment like this. I mean, It's just so damn good.
If you want to sound good talking into something, get yourself some Sennheiser microphones.
Yeah, it makes you sound epic. Mike Black, say something epic.
Space. The final frontier.
Bum, bum, bum,
These are the voyages.
bum,
If I say any more, lawyers will get involved. We have to.
Exactly.
But I said it clearly, and you could hear it clearly.
God, I can hear it. It sounds perfect. Hey, go check out Sennheiser. If you are looking for audio equipment, you're looking for a great microphone, this is the one to use. Mike, Matt, what's this one called that we're using?
This is the MD42.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's absolutely perfect.
Find them at Sennheiser.com.
You bet. All right, let's get back to the show. There's a movie that came out in 2019 called Zeroville. Do can we talk a little bit about this
you've
movie?
played now Walt Disney and Martin Scorsese, which is
I mean, this movie, what's going on with this film? Have you?
What the hell is happening?
What the fuck is going on here? I'm looking at the cast of this movie: Franco, Seth Rogen, Megan Fox, Joey King, Jackie Weaver,
Dave Franco,
Craig Robinson, our buddy. All these
Gus Van Sant.
Yeah, Danny McBride. I mean, what was this movie like? What was this project like?
It's funny you bring this up because the only story that ever comes to my mind is the embarrassment of walking into the hair and makeup trailer, seeing Seth Rogen, introducing myself, and him turning to me and saying, "Oh, we actually already met before."
What?
And I'm really good with like faces and names. Like, ask anyone that knows me. Like, I remember a lot of stuff. I have a like semi-photographic memory. So Seth Rogen is like a person that you would think I would remember meeting.
Right.
Yeah. And so I was like, wait, really? He's like, yeah, it was a table read. I don't remember what for, and then, so I racked my brain for like an hour. And so I like come up to him on set. I'm like, bad haircut with Sean Hennessy, Laura Prepon, and Christopher Lloyd, 1999 at the Argyle Hotel, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a table reading for like a movie. I don't know if the movie ever got made. I wasn't in it. So I guess it didn't do well at the table read.
Oh my God.
But this was like Seth Rogen, Freaks and Geeks sort of days, like no beard, shorter hair.
Sure.
So maybe that's why I didn't remember him. I don't know.
Yeah, God, that is crazy, man. That's a ridiculous.
Well, you look at like Freaks and Geeks, and he's almost a different person from who he is now.
He was like pre-Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. What do you want to do next? What's in the pipeline? What do you want out of your career next?
Well, obviously we shot Adverse sort of pre-COVID. So I think now that we're kind of looking at the timeline, we're developing a TV show to sort of kind of abide by like this, everything's moving towards streaming for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think, our idea is we'll play into that and move into the TV space. I haven't done that for a minute. I sold the show to Fox a few years back that they bought, but then we couldn't get a network. They were the studio. We couldn't get a network. And it was based on like something in my actual life that is pretty trippy, about my parents getting back together after 22 years of being divorced.
Oh, wow.
And so I had like this comedy, like back when like there was only like a handful of like sitcoms.
Yeah.
But now I'm moving. Adverse is going to be the turning point for me of moving back into drama. So the new TV show that I'm developing with Brian A. Metcalf will be a drama. I can't say too much about it, but it's gonna be pretty damn cool.
That's really fucking
awesome.
Cool, man. That process of selling a show and doing all that work, and oh my God, it's especially with like a big network like that. What was that like for you?
It was intense. I mean, that one, I don't think we're going to go like selling to network on this one. I think we're going to, we have a different sort of path in mind, but because that was like a 1.5 year process of just developing the show, working with another writer, to get it, get the pitch all down, going to like all the studios and doing this crazy, 10-minute pitch and like the stress and, adrenaline from that. Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, that was my first time doing that, and I guess I should feel pretty good that we sold it, even though it didn't ultimately get made. And then other than that, I'm just I'm releasing new singles for my 7th album like every 6 weeks. We just dropped the single number 5 on January 26th called Home Life, and the next ones come out in March and April and and then I guess April, May, June.
Dude, that is so amazing, man. I love it. Well, where can people follow you online? Do you have social medias?
Yeah, my acronym, because my name, when it was 3 first names, was too long. So my acronym online is TIN Band, TIN Band.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Tin Band. Is that on all the platforms?
Yeah, that's on all of them. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
TikTok.
I think I started a TikTok, and then it was like, they're gonna steal all your information. I deleted TikTok, and then I was like, shit. Oh, it's probably fine. I started TikTok, and my wife's like, they're gonna steal all your information. So I deleted TikTok, and it was like, you're gonna be illegal. TikTok's gonna be illegal. Now, like, I don't even need to join TikTok. Everyone just posts them to Instagram.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, dude, thank you again so much for doing the show. You're a fucking prince, and we're big fans of you, man. So thanks again.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for having me. And if anyone's interested in catching the second week in theaters of Adverse, adversethefilm.com is where you can catch. We put a website together with all the theater listings. So this will be your last week to catch it. And then it will be Lionsgate's putting it on streaming platforms on March 9th.
Nice. Dude.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Talk to you real soon.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Take care, buddy.